Today, we turn our attention to Sustainable Development Goal 14, Life Below Water, a global initiative to conserve and sustainably use our oceans, seas, and marine resources. SDG14 focuses on reducing marine pollution, protecting marine ecosystem, and regulating overfishing to ensure the long-term health of our ocean. With 30% of fish stocks overexploited and marine biodiversity threatened, urgent action is needed. Environmental disasters like oil spills, coral bleaching, and plastic pollutions endanger marine life, while climate change accelerates ocean acidification. However, global conservation efforts, policy reforms, and advocacy campaigns are pushing for stricter regulation and sustainable practices. Ensuring the protection and restoration of marine ecosystem is essential for biodiversity and food security, economic stability, and climate resilience. As we move towards the year 2030, will the world take the necessary steps to safeguard our oceans? Stay with us for more updates on environmental and sustainability efforts. Back to you.
Let's take us to Japan. In 2011, a 9-magnitude earthquake struck. It triggered a devastating tsunami which severely damaged the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. The disaster led to a reactor meltdown, releasing large amounts of reactive material into the environment and forcing over 115,000 people to evacuate. By the end of 2011, around 18,500 people were dead or missing, with Miyagi Prefecture suffering the greatest loss. Most casualties were drowning victims and over half were elderly. Beyond human loss, disaster caused fires, infrastructure damage, and radiation fears, making it one of Japan's deadliest tragedies. Next, SeaWorld, a well-known marine park, has long faced criticism over the captivity of orcas and the ethical concerns surrounding their treatment. Since 1961, at least 180 orcas have died in captivity, including 30 stillborn or miscarried calves. These highly intelligent marine mammals are confined to small tanks, measuring only a fraction of their natural habitat, leading to severe physical and psychological distress. One of the most infamous cases is Telecom, an orca involved in the deaths of 3 people, illustrating the dangerous behavioral changes caused by confinement. Similarly, Kiska, known as the world's loneliest orca, spent over 40 years in captivity, including 12 years in isolation before dying in 2023. With only 54 orcas remaining in marine parks worldwide, the debate continues. Should orca captivity finally come to an end? Now, we shift our focus to environmental exploitation. Shell, one of the world's largest oil companies, has been embroiled in controversy due to its long-standing history of oil spills and ecological destruction in Nigeria's delta. For years, Nigeria's abundant oil reserve has been extracted at a high cost, with weak regulations and government corruption enabling corporations like Shell to operate with little oversight. Between 2011 and 2022, more than 1,010 oil spills released approximately 17.5 million liters of oil into local waterways, wreaking havoc on marine life and coastal ecosystems. Beyond the environmental consequences, this disaster has crippled the livelihoods of indigenous and coastal communities who rely on fishing and farming. Turning our attention to another pressing ocean crisis, we look at the ongoing threat of coral bleaching to the Great Barrier Reef. Rising ocean temperatures due to climate change have led to widespread coral bleaching, causing corals to expel their algae and risk mortality. In 2016, 93% of the reef was affected, with devastating impacts on local communities depending on tourism and fishing. Efforts to reduce emissions and promote coral recovery face significant hurdles, highlighting the urgent need for global action to protect this critical ecosystem. Without decisive intervention, the future of the Great Barrier Reef remains uncertain. Rounding out our discussion of ocean crisis, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, located between Hawaii and California, is the largest plastic accumulation zone in the ocean, covering 1.6 million square kilometers. Millions of tons of plastic enter the ocean each year, carried by currents and breaking down into microplastic. This pollution threatens marine life through entanglement and ingestion, while microplastics also pose health risks to humans through seafood and water. Scientists stress that while cleanup efforts help, reducing plastic waste is the key to tackling this growing crisis.
As we've seen, the challenges facing our oceans, whether it's Fukushima's wastewater, orca captivity, oil spills, or the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, demand urgent action. Solutions like global cooperation, improved water treatment, and stricter regulations on captivity offer hope for the future. In regions like Nigeria's Delta, local efforts and infrastructure improvements are making strides, while in the Great Barrier Reef, combating climate change and boosting coral resilience are crucial. The fight to reduce ocean waste, though difficult, can be addressed through cleanup efforts and waste retention. Preserving life below water requires global collaboration and sustainable practices. By acting together, we can secure a healthier future for our oceans. Thank you for joining us. Let's continue to protect our planet's most valuable resource.